Hello everyone, this is Samirin, and in this tutorial we are going to be focusing on randomizing gameplay. The scenario was brought to me recently on how to set up a game so that you could have a whole bunch of collectibles, but then you could randomly decide which ones appeared and base your game entirely on only the collectibles that were actually visible and usable. So we're going to do a small version of that in this tutorial. We're going to basically use 9 orbs here. We're going to set it up so only 5 of them will appear, and we're going to base a game on having to collect all 5, and then a party cannon will go off. So we're going to need a few creative toys to make this work. We're going to need a counter for our collectible challenge, and a collectible tracker for that. And then to actually display only 5 of them, we're going to have to build a little circuit to do that. And we're going to do that with one of my time delayer circuits, which could also be viewed as a very, very fast repeater. Because a repeater is stuck at doing it once every second, and we want to go a lot faster than that. So we're going to build a little logic that is going to do this for us. And we're going to use some randomizers to accomplish this. Now I realize I could do 9 of them in one randomizer, but I'm going to show you how to do it so that you could fit a whole bunch of different collectibles in here. So I'm basically going to put down 3 more randomizers. And how it's going to be set up is, just to make everything fair, we're going to set it so that the first randomizer is the main one, and if random trigger 1 fires, it'll go to the first randomizer. If trigger 2 fires, it'll go to the third. And if random trigger 3 fires, it's going to go to the last randomizer. Now this would give you a total of 30 possible orbs to choose from. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to set it up so that each of these is pointing at a separate orb, which is why I would suggest laying the orbs out at first in a pattern that is easy to follow. And to make them appear, you just send a reset. So the first randomizer I'm going to use on this first column. So random trigger 1, 2, and 3 will go to the first column. And then the next randomizers, I'll do the same thing, just using random trigger 1, 2, and 3. And the important thing to note in this is every collectible you have has to have a random trigger coming to it to reset it. Do that one, and then our last one is going to be random trigger 3 from our last randomizer here to this last orb. And so we're basically going to set up our little time circuit here, and we're going to say when you open it, increment this by 1, and when it outputs, increment by 1. And all we're doing, if you watch my time delayer circuits, is we're building a very fast loop. Reset on target reach has to be on, and when the count changes, we send an input to this gate, and when we get a target reached, we're going to send an action to this randomizer. Now to control how many we make appear, we're going to need one more counter right here, and I believe I said we want 5 to appear. So what we're going to do is set this to the target count of 5. Doesn't want it to be, and we don't want it to be visible. So that means for this collection challenge, we need this counter to reach 5. And this one is going to be visible because it's going to be showing the player how many they've picked up so far. Now the trick here is that we don't want this counter to go up every time this hits a target reached, because it's possible that you're going to send a reset to an orb that's already been reset. And so if we just had the target reached here, increment this counter, it's possible that it could stop thinking you have 5, but in fact you reset one that was already reset. So you only have 4, which means this challenge will never be completed because you can only pick up 4 of the 5. No other ones are visible. Now the nice thing is, I've done some testing, and the logic on the orb, this reset logic will only fire if the orb was hidden. If the orb is there and you hit it with a reset, it will not send a reset message out. So we can use that fact with all these orbs. We have to tie every single one of them, and if you have more, make sure every single one of them is tied to this last counter, so that when it resets or when it appears, it is going to increment that counter by 1. Oops, I wasn't doing those right. I'm wondering about that. Let's fix these ones up. So every time they send a reset message, we're incrementing that counter by 1. So therefore, once that counter reaches the count which we set it to, which right now is 5, then we're going to tell our system, you have 5 orbs visible, stop, or don't unhide any more of them. And I gotta attach 3 more of them here. And like I said, if you have more orbs out, every last one of them has to send this reset increment +1 message to this counter. So they're all hooked up. So what we need to say is when the target is reached, simply close this logic gate, which stops this whole loop. So we also need to say now, whenever we collect a collectible, we want to increment by 1 this counter. And what I'm going to do, just for simplicity's sake, is I'm going to put up a party cannon as our trigger that, yes, we have picked up 5 of these objects. So just simply target reached, we'll fire off some fireworks. And the target reached we've already set is 5, which is how many orbs we are allowing to appear. So I'm going to put down a couple quick buttons here. Before you start your challenge, you have to make sure that you hide all of those orbs. So you can do that just by telling the collectible tracker remove all. And therefore, when I push this button, all those orbs will vanish. And I'm going to put another button right here. And all it's going to do is when I press it, it opens this gate. I'm not inputting to it because I have set up so that if this gate opens, it will start the whole thing going. So when I push this button, 5 orbs should appear, and then that whole system should stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of our 9 orbs have randomly appeared. And if I pick them all up, away goes the party can. So there you go. That's how you can set it up so that your system will display how many you want. Oh, there, touche. Alright, there were a couple things I needed to do here. I needed to tell this counter if I want to reuse this system to reset on target reached, and if I want to reuse the system, I'm going to tell this one to reset on target reached. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to fix this system really quick just by clearing both those counters. And I probably have to close that logic gate. So make sure you set everything to reset on target reached if you want to be able to reuse this system. And what I would suggest you do, because this logic, especially if you're doing a lot more orbs than just 9, is I would suggest you make a toy box like this, blank one, put all your logic in it, have all your collectibles sitting there, save it, and then anytime you want to do that type of challenge, I would just open the toy box, start building, and move these orbs to wherever you need them in your challenge. So now I want to hide these orbs, and I'm going to push this button, at which point we get 5 orbs again. I collect them, party cannon goes off, and just because you can adjust the system so easily, let's say in this game we don't want it to be 5 orbs, we want it to be 3 orbs. All you do is change the target count on that counter and on this counter, and the next time I activate this system, it's going to bring 3 orbs, and I win by collecting 3 orbs. So this time I only have 3 orbs, and I'm going to pick them up, and we've won the game again. So there you go. That's an easy way to set up a random logic event so that your game can change every time the user plays it. So this has been Sumerian. I hope this tutorial has been helpful, and have yourselves a wonderful day.